talk a little bit about the community of ice carvers that have come together to put on Freezefest in Bloomington?
Oh, the group of our brothers and sister, huh?
Yeah.
What a great group of people. You know, it's always nice to come together with these people and learn, share, and build something for the town.
But we're a traveling bunch of carvers. We're a fairly small community. When you look at us on a national level, there's only a handful in each major city. To come out here and work with some of the smaller towns, it's awesome. We can bring stuff to them and see stuff that, you know, just typically don't get to see.
I mean, there's not a lot of ice carvers in the world. It's not one of those things where you've got one in every city, really. I'm from St. Louis, and the next closest carver is in Argenta, Illinois, you know, or all the way in Kansas City.
When did this community of ice carvers kind of get organized to do events like this?
Well, there's been different levels over the years. I am working on a nationwide organization right now for carvers. We're all revolving around mostly festival type situations.
Practically perfect weather for this weekend here in Bloomington,
we got
Indiana.
pretty good weather. We were lucky this year, you know.
2 years ago, at the first Freeze Fest, it was 65 degrees and raining, and so that
Carver's dream.
But this year's perfect.
This year you have perfect weather.
Perfect weather.
So to entice people to come out, what would you say to people to get them to come out?
Dress warm for sure, so that you don't get too cold and that you can enjoy it longer. But there's plenty of interactive games. There's a throne. We have cornhole. We'll have checkers. There's like games of Plinko. The kids can ride down the ice slide. There's a giant bear at Upland.
Today we're doing the ice leopard, kind of a fun little piece for the cold weather. Yeah, based on a little snow leopard play, but a young man called it an ice leopard instead of a snow leopard, so we're gonna keep it with that.
Go ahead and talk about what you've been doing here today.
I've been carving ice.
Yeah.
What's it look like? I've been busy here. This is nothing in particular. This is just art for the sake of art. Just nice movement, pretty pieces. Hopefully something that'll have a little bit of staying power. But there is no special meaning behind it. I've done a couple in a series, but it's nothing, not supposed to be anything.
I knew what I was going to do about 30 minutes before I showed up here. And I also make tools for ice sculpting, so I figured I'd just make some tools of the ice sculpting trade to kickstart conversations. And I just kind of looked at my tools and drew them on the ice, and after that just punched all the stuff that wasn't supposed to be there out.
So what was the most interesting question you got here at Wonder Lab today while you were doing the carving?
The most interesting question. Is that a hammer?
Is that a hammer?
No, it's not a hammer. This is a J.B. Prince ice carving tool. It's pretty much the gold standard for ice carving chisels. There's not a whole lot of people who make, actually there's barely any. J.B. Prince is the only specifically ice carving chisel. And this is a Makita 5012B chainsaw. They don't make this style anymore, but it is one of the lightest, most powerful saws that were ever made.
I'm just curious about what was necessary that required you to make ice tools.
The thing is, most carvers make their own tools because there isn't a lot available out there. You know, we take tools from other trades and modify them to work in what we have. And I needed some tools, and the ones that were available were just, the price is astronomical because they're all handmade.
Was it about the shape or about the cut of it?
It was a rotary tool, and you just plunge it into the ice and it leaves this perfect half sphere. Little
okay.
bubbles.
Okay.
You know, so it's just really easy detail that there's no other way to achieve. And I wanted some. I didn't want to pay because you needed to buy the tool, and then you needed to buy 2 different adapters to get it to fit onto a die grinder, and I thought there was a better way. So I made one that didn't need any of the adapters. And after that, everybody's like, I want one too, I want one too. So that kind of kick-started it, and now I probably make like 25 different tools that I sell. Are these little bubble bits.
Oh, wow.
So that goes in one of these rotary tools and spins like that. And when you push it into the ice, it leaves that shape.
Besides the dumb questions that I've been asking you, have you gotten any good questions from people coming around watching you?
A lot of people want to know how I started carving. You know, that's what they're curious about, because there's not like an institute somewhere where you go carve ice at, you know what I mean? So you got to kind of learn it on the street. I started when I was 19. I went to culinary school, worked in the big hotels, and we were able to carve there. So I just kept developing the skills over the years, you know.
How did you get into ice carving?
Studying to be a chef.
Is that right?
Never set foot in a kitchen. Just found this one day in class, and I've been doing it ever since.
So you gave up being a chef as soon as you saw the ice?
As soon as I picked up a chainsaw.
Most of all of us started in the food business as chefs, and I got roped into this just by them being all my friends and being chefs in the industry. And once I did one event, I bought tools and got started from there.
Like most ice carvers, I came from a culinary background. I was a chef for about 15 years.
And where were you a chef?
South Bend, Indiana.
South Bend, okay.
Well, I got into it through the culinary field. I went to school for culinary, and I got to play with a few blocks there. And then once I got working in the kitchens, started trying to do as much ice as I could, you know, and eventually I just said it was too hot in there, and I went and applied for a job at a place where that's all they did was sculpt ice, and been there ever since.
They used to put ice sculptures on buffets to keep the food cold and preserve it.
So what kind of things did you start carving in the hotel?
Oh, back in the day, it was like, you know, a vase or hearts for Mother's Day, a harp, an eagle, a swan, a basket for Easter. Easter bunny was a big one. A lot of people started around the holidays between Easter and Mother's Day. That's because those are the 2 events that went on nationwide that needed sculptures for their buffets. You know. So a lot of us started in that time period, but it's turned into like an art form. You know what I mean? So. There's artists that are just artists that do this, and there's culinary people that do it, and their styles are very different.
I was in culinary school, walked by a table, seen some chainsaws out that looked very dull. Always been a woodcutter, wood burner my whole life, and I can help with that. And then I picked up the saw and never set it down. So away I went.
So self-taught?
Self-taught, never grew up drawing or anything. My art expression was through food, so just translate that. And you know, ice carving is a very practiced art. You got to work at it. Some people are naturals at it. I'm not.
What's your favorite part about this craft that you're doing?
Just always finding a new way to do something. You think you might have it down, but you don't. And you see somebody else do it, or they stop you and explain that you can do it something totally different and get the same outcome. It might be better, might be worse, faster or slower, but you might it's always something new that you can learn. That's the best thing about the craft.
The sound the tools make as they remove the ice It's unlike anything else that there is. It's just very relaxing and therapeutic, I would say.
So how many pieces have you worked on this week?
Maybe 10.
10 pieces?
Yeah,
Yeah.
10 big pieces.
Yeah. So did you start on Monday? Was that when you started? Or?
We started on Monday. Yeah, we started getting the blocks ready on Monday morning, and we got a good portion of them done on Monday.
Uh-huh. So what do you like most about carving ice?
The physical side of it. It's big, it's massive, it's threatening in many cases. Not something you want to kid around with too much. This piece, when I first started, weighed 1,000 pounds. So some of the pieces that are falling off could be 25, 30, or 100 pounds even sometimes. And just gets it's the technical side. It's a lot of engineering as well as it's as much art.
Because this is ephemera and it is intended to go away, what are your feelings about preserving a record of what you've done?
I take pictures of everything. Yeah, just because of that, it is temporary. It's gone. You know, in some cases, when we were here 2 years ago for this event, the weather was so absolutely horrible that you didn't even get pictures. You know, everything melted so quick, so fast.
And then the rain came too.
Rain came and just multiplied that, compounded it. So today it's really nice. We can have a piece that can sit out.
You can't control Mother Nature, and even this week the weather was up and down for us, and that's why we have the semi-trailers with the reefer units on them, and we rotate the ice in and out as we're working on it.
We're just setting up all of the sculptures that we've created over the week. We started Monday morning and we just did everything here on this block.
About how many carvings are we talking about?
Oh man, we started with 160 blocks of ice, so I would say at least 60 sculptures probably. Sounds about right.
It's always fascinating when artists are able to people are able to watch artists work and kind of get a sense of like,
See it be done in a few hours' time instead of days in some cases.
How long do you think this piece will last before it completely melts down?
Well, the first day that you have in above freezing temps and it's sunny, that will probably destroy it.
Yeah.
The sun refracts through the ice and eats it from the inside, and then it just crumbles.
The ice isn't going to melt fast, you know. It melts a half an inch an hour at 70 degrees.
And these sculptures are going to stay in place?
They're leaving them here.
You're leaving them here. So
as far as I know, they're going to be. If they get to be an issue, they'll be knocked down and chopped up, you know. But as far as I know right now, they're going to stay here.